Hello there, Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and another card making video. In today's video, I am showcasing two brand new die sets from Spellbinders. They are the Picot Petite circles and squares. These die sets are part of the Becca Feeken Amazing Paper Grace collection. These are the squares. You can see there are 4 dies in this set. These dies nest together and they are very beautifully intricate dies, as you can see in this close-up. And here's a look at the circle dies, also in a set of 4, and they also nest together. And here is a close-up look at these dies. They have the same picot edge, and picot is a type of stitch for knitting and crocheting. You'll see it in lace. And here's a close-up look at a kind of typical picot pattern in that element. And then we also have these dies available in rectangles and ovals. I will have all of them linked for you below so you can check them out. Now let's see these dies in action. So you can see here that you could nest all of these together and run them through the die cut machine. That might be kind of a lot for the die cut machine. Also, I find it easier to do 1 or 2 at a time, but I wanted you to see how they go through by themselves. The largest is just under 5 inches, the same for the circle. And then you can die cut the next die in, I call it the medium die, with the first one you already cut, creating a frame. And that will give you an approximately 4-inch size square. And then if you die cut from that, you'll get a 3-inch square. And if you die cut the center out of that, then you have a 2-inch plain solid square. These pieces can be layered together and they are also great frames. So you have the choice to leave the center in or die cut it out. They're intricate and beautiful. I highly recommend the use of a tool-in one to get out all those little intricate pieces. For today's cards, I thought it would be fun to make some bold and bright fall cards. So I'm using this stamp set called Martha's Pumpkins and inking them with clear pigment ink so that I can emboss them with white powder. They're just going to stand out so beautifully on these different colors of cardstock. When I do clear embossing, I like to ink up my stamp 3 times and stamp it down lightly, especially when you have a lot of detail, which these stamped pumpkins that I just did have a lot of detail. That way I'm not pressing too hard and like smashing the lines out. So there's my tip. And then for these blue pumpkins, I am taking Catalina Splash ink, which is actually the same color of ink as the paper that I used to die cut those squares at the beginning. And I'm going to stamp them with those lined image pumpkins as well as these more solid pumpkins. And you can see the lines on these ones are white. So I'm going to stamp out a ton of pumpkins. I'm going to do blue. That was the Catalina Splash Tangerine Fusion. I'm going to do some red, but here you can see all the different pumpkins that I colored, or stamped, embossed some of them, and die cut them out. I'll set those aside and we'll start making cards. So this card here is 4 1/4 by 8 1/2. I scored it at 4 1/4. So it's a square card. I'm spraying this with some splashes from Fun Stamper's Journey, Gold and Blue Lagoon. And then I'm going to put some orange silk on top of that, just to create kind of a fun and quick background. A lot of this is going to be covered up, so it's okay that there's kind of a lot going on and some big blotchiness there in the middle. I used a squeeze and roll 2-way glue pen because it's got that precision tip to put dots of glue all around my Picot circle frame. And then I'm going to put my pumpkins on the inside of this frame, and I'm using foam squares to pop them up. And then I have a sentiment, choose to be grateful. Isn't that amazing? I love that sentiment, especially right now when sometimes things can seem hard to be grateful for. Yeah. Okay, so I'm adding my favorite embellishment. These are rainbow drops. You can see they come in 6 different colors. However, they go really well with so many things because they have a translucency to them and they will pick up the color from behind. Highly recommend them. All right, for card number 2, I am going to use one of the frames, but I also am going to use one of the circles without the center cut out. This is the stamp set I'm using for my sayings today. It's called Thankful Friends. I love this stamp set, and it has good sentiments in it with a cute font. So I use that for my first card, and I will use this Thankful for You for this card and the next one. I'm embossing that sentiment with white powder because I use my white powder all the time. I love it. All right, so to make a faux wood grain like background, I'm dragging my oatmeal cookie stamp pad across my cardstock, and then I'm going to add my frame and my circle, and look how beautiful that looks. I love it. I added some blue pumpkins, and then I thought this was just going to be a 5x5 card, but I felt like it needed a little border of that oatmeal cookie around the edge. So this is actually 5 1/8 by 5 1/8. So there you go. Card number 3 is going to be a slimline card. I'm going to die cut this smallest of the Picot squares from the top and the bottom of this panel. And the middle was just a little bit too small to go ahead and do that 3 times. And then I thought it would be fun to inlay some blue squares with all my die cuts. I also embossed another pumpkin on the blue cardstock with white powder because it seemed to be the perfect thing for that white open space in the middle. So once I have all those together, I'm going to put the whole card all together. I'm layering this panel onto a 9 by 3.5 inch slimline card. I'm gluing my blue squares in those openings so you can see the orange from behind. I added my pumpkins with foam squares and my sentiment, and then I'm going to bring back in those rainbow drops to embellish this card and finish it up. So doing all the die, or most of the die cutting up front and all the pumpkins up front, made the assembly of these cards super fun. I even used some of the leftovers on the inside, and I didn't end up using any of the red pumpkins. I think that's okay. I'll save them for another time. So there are my 3 cards where I used the Picot circles and squares to dress up my bold and bright fall cards. I think this color combination for fall is so much fun. I would love to know what you think of it. I was actually inspired with this color combination by some DIY crafts for home decor. So let me know what you think about blue thrown in there for fall. All right, that is it for me today, and I will be back again very soon with another stamping video just for you. So I will see you then. Happy stamping. Bye.